कोई मिल गया, ये आपके लिए खाली रिस्क नहीं थी, आपके सुपरस्टार बेटे के लिए भी थी. Did you think of that कि ये, my son's career is going in a particular way, I'm taking him to a different direction, it's a risk for him?
कोई मिल गया, शायद कोई देखने को ना आए, बिकॉज एक तो हीरो नहीं है पिक्चर में. बट व्हेन आई रिलीज द ट्रेलर, दैट कॉट ऑन, बट दैट वाज समथिंग न्यू.
You know, when you just mentioned these films, be it Mission Kashmir, be it मैं प्रेम की दीवानी हूँ, these are all made by very respected names.
Yes.
Be it Suraj Barjatya, be it Vidhu Vinod Chopra,
Yeah.
be it Aditya Chopra,
Subhash Ghai,
who made Yadein. And imagine if those films don't work, you can't really entirely blame the actor for it. There has to be some fault somewhere else also.
It is my absolute pleasure as a film journalist, a dream interview that I've been wanting to do with veteran filmmaker Mr. Rakesh Roshan and of course Taran Adarsh. There's nobody in the industry who speaks trade and numbers like he does, and we are just so grateful to have both of you.
My pleasure to be with you all. I know I'm not very frequent on TV or in camera or in social media, but yeah, would love to, because I've heard you a lot of times, I've heard him a lot of times, know him since ages.
Yeah.
I knew his father so well. Good.
Right. So I'll start with you. I'm gonna, because you do few interviews, I will take you back and forth. So पहले हम जाएंगे कोई मिल गया जब बन रही थी, जब thought आया था. I would say huge risk, huge something that हिंदी फिल्म इंडस्ट्री had not seen. ये हॉलीवुड में लोग बनाते थे ऐसा सब, लेकिन यहाँ पर कोई नहीं बनाता था. What was your first idea that you went and told Hrithik that let's make this?
See, I'll give you a little background to this.
Yes.
When I made my first film, Khudlars, with two friends, I had a massive hit.
Yeah.
Any other filmmaker on at that age, at that time, would have made a film of the same kind with two heroes. But I made completely opposite film, Khoon Bari Maang with Rekha. So there is no connection.
Right.
So it has always been with me that I always try to make different kind of films which challenges me, which gives me sleepless nights, which I feel I cannot do it. I cannot make it. And then I put my soul and all my work into it so much that I try to give it to the audience so that they also feel the same way. अरे ये कैसी picture बना दी. So that's what happened after Kaho Na Pyar Hai. I didn't know what to make with Hrithik, because Hrithik's both the characters were liked.
Yeah.
Especially in the second half. So I had some subject in mind, so I said, let me make that. उसमें hero ही था Hrithik. I happened to be in South Africa during IFA Awards, and I saw Lagan. When I saw that film shook me. I said, no, I cannot make another film. I should make something different. Then I was thinking what to make, and suddenly this idea came in my mind that a hero who is mentally not grown, and he has plays with the young boys and all, and how an alien comes and gives him powers and he goes away. This was the only thought I had. So Hrithik was shooting for Yadein in Delhi at that time. So I called him up in the morning at 8 o'clock. I called him, Dungu, I've got this small idea. How do you react to it? I just want to know. So I narrated him. And he said, Papa, it's excellent. And he won't believe that script I made with my writers when I narrated them in just 15 days.
Wow.
The whole script was ready. Everything was automatically coming. So I don't know what it was. When the script was ready, when Hrithik came back, I narrated him the whole script and he loved it. Then I went to Preeti, and Preeti also said the same thing, and then I was thinking whom to cast as a mother. So I just took a chance. I went to Rekha ji and said, Rekha ji, मैं खून मेरी मांग बनाई आपके साथ, लेकिन अभी मैं ऐसी पिक्चर बना रहा हूँ, and you hear the subject, I said. So I narrated the whole script. You want me to play the mother's role, isn't it? I said yes. So she said, done, I will do it.
All right.
And that's how the project started.
Wow. Wow. Nice. Taran, before we speak about the film, I want to ask you, he said you all go back such a long way.
Yeah.
What makes people like Rakesh Roshan ji unique, their filmmaking so unique?
Not because he's sitting here, but I think they don't make people like him anymore. And I genuinely mean that. He belongs to an era. He's still very much with the present times, current times, but he belongs to an era where people thought from the heart. People had love and passion for their work, the respect for their work. And if you see his very first film as a director, Khud Garz, you'll notice that there was so much passion involved, not from just the actor's side, but also from the director's side. His storytelling. And I distinctly remember at that point of time we had watched the film at a preview screening. And I came out of the theatre and I told him that you are a better director than your father-in-law, G.M. Prakash ji.
Wow.
Of course, he's too humble a man to even accept a compliment of that kind. But you asked me as to what makes him special. I think that the fact that he changes with every film, be it Khud Garz, be it Khoon Bari Maang, be it Kaho Na Pyar Hai, be it Koi Mil Gaya, be it Krish, to whatever he's going to plan next, he's forever thinking. And he's not stuck in time where he wants to make only one kind of films. He has seen an era, perhaps he's senior to both of us. And he's seen those greats which perhaps we've not seen. And he's seen a lot of people, with due respect to them, slowly, gradually fade away. Because they could not change with the times. And here we are in 2023. He's still thinking of his new film. He's still thinking of what next can I offer to the audience, which is at par with the Western world, which is at par with what the audience expects from him, and of course his very supremely talented son. And at the same time, his mind is constantly thinking. Even at such a young age, he is wanting to explore newer horizons, and that's what makes him special. That is what makes, and that is the reason why people expect whenever a film which says, a poster which says, directed by Rakesh Roshan, an audience सोचती है उस वक्त कि हमें ये फिल्म देखनी है. क्यों? क्योंकि that directed by Rakesh Roshan itself is an ISI mark of quality product. And that is what makes him special.
Amazing. So good to know that. So, he's saying you're with time always. Today also you want to make something that's with international standards. कहाँ से आता है ये? यहाँ तो लोग बहुत पढ़ते हैं, उनको पता लगता है, यहाँ तो लोग बहुत फिल्में देखते हैं, कंटेंट देखते हैं. आप क्या करते हो जो आपको पता है सब बच्चे आजकल क्या देख रहे हैं, एंजॉय कर रहे हैं?
देखिए, जहाँ तक एजुकेशन का सवाल है, मैं बिल्कुल अनपढ़ हूँ. ना मेरी हिंदी अच्छी है, ना मेरी इंग्लिश अच्छी है. मैं साफ कह रहा हूँ ये बात, क्योंकि मैं कभी स्कूल गया ही नहीं. नाम के लिए स्कूल जाता था, लेकिन मैं हमेशा पिक्चर हॉल में ही बैठा रहता था. तो मैंने कई पिक्चरें बहुत बार देखी है. जैसे श्री 420 राज जी की, मैंने वो पिक्चर कम से कम 400 बार देखी होगी, 400 times. And till today, whenever I start a new film, I see that film, because that film was ahead of its time. And that film was a wholesome film. It has everything in it. Romance, share market at that time, to explain to the audience. So everything was there. So I'm very fond of seeing films. I don't read. I don't write. Even when I'm scripting, everything is in my mind. I don't know what thoughts come in my mind, how it comes, I don't know. But one thing is there, I've seen that if you are in it all the time, thoughts keep pouring. Sometimes when I see my films, my old films, I wonder how did I think of this? Oh God, how did I conceive this thing? So I don't know what God leads me from where, I don't know. All credit goes to Him.
Right.
I think if I can add
Please.
to what he's just said, he's got a mind which always thinks. And he's not that इन्होंने ऐसा नहीं सोचा कि मैंने ये मकाम हासिल कर लिया है जिंदगी में, so it's now time to take it easy. He's forever working. The fact that we are talking about him, and I'm sure even now when he completes this interview, he'd be moving on to his next project, or he'll be thinking about his next project. That shows that what an intelligent mind it is, that what an active mind it is. Age is just a number. You need to keep working.
Right.
And if you're young here, I think you can achieve the biggest of, you can win the biggest of wars. And I think that's what he's been able to do over decades, not even years. And as I said, I mean, look at the body of work that he has done. You can as a viewer, as an audience, you can say कि ये पिक्चर में ये अच्छा नहीं था, ये अच्छा था, ये पिक्चर में ये कमी थी, बहुत अच्छी थी. But आप इनके काम में खोट नहीं निकाल सकते. That is a very important aspect for any filmmaker to achieve.
Right. Even that's the observation. That's why we requested you to be a part of the interview. That's a great observation. Sir, आपने कहा आपकी इंग्लिश सही नहीं है, हिंदी सही नहीं है, आपकी फिल्म मेकिंग परफेक्ट है. स्टोरी टेलिंग से बड़ी कोई भाषा नहीं होती है. So that's really important.
मैं क्या कह रहा हूँ कि I've seen that Hollywood films हो या Indian films हो, till you don't see the director on the screen, the film doesn't do well.
Yeah.
It is the director which catches you, and then the actors add to it.
Yeah.
If you don't see the director's work in the film, the film will never work.
Right.
Why so many films which do well, you see the director's heart in it. You come to know the director's character in it. ये डायरेक्टर किस किस्म का होगा, ये आदमी किस किस्म का होगा.
Right, we can see that in most of your films. Sir, I'll come to कोई मिल गया now because ये आपके लिए खाली रिस्क नहीं थी, आपके सुपरस्टार बेटे के लिए भी थी. You know, it's so safe to make a कहो ना प्यार है kind of thing where he's the hero, he's looking great. You all chose to make him, you know, he was a special child in the film, acting like a child, doesn't really have a romance track in it. Did you think of that कि ये, you know, my son's career is going in a particular way, I'm taking him to a different direction, it's a risk for him?
Yes, that thought did occur. But when I took the very first shot of the film with Hrithik, when he's coming on the scooty near the jeep, that was the first Muhurat shot of the film. And when I saw him doing that, my confidence grew 100%. I said, we will hit it this time. And unfortunately, Hrithik's after कहो ना प्यार and between कोई मिल गया, all his films didn't do well.
Yeah. True.
His last film also, मैं प्रेम की कहानी हूँ, ये प्रेम की दीवानी हूँ, ये सूरज बड़जाटी की पिक्चर थी. So that released 2 months earlier than my film. That also didn't do well. And I thought कि कोई मिल गया शायद कोई देखने को ना आए, because एक तो हीरो नहीं है पिक्चर में. तो but when I released the trailer was a very simple trailer, one short trailer. A boy is sitting on a rock, and the camera from his clothes goes up, and one UFO enters. That was my trailer. That caught on. But that was something new. Then I told all my distributors, see, this is not a usual commercial film. So you will not have a morning 9 o'clock show. Because for Karan Arjun and for Koila and for Kaho Na Pyar Hai, they all had 6 o'clock shows in the morning. The CPPR, CI, you know, small stations they have. They open the film and then wake me up and say, houseful here. So I told them, I took in writing from them, that you'll go release on the regular shows, 12 o'clock. डोंट रिलीज इट, बिकॉज नहीं तो 9 बजे ही कहीं बुरी खबर ना फैल जाए सब जगह। तो डिस्ट्रीब्यूटर्स बोले आप इतने नर्वस हैं तो हमारा क्या होगा। मैंने बोला मैं सिर्फ आपको बता रहा हूँ कि यू गो दिस वे यू माइट बेनिफिट। बट नहीं, मुझे 9:15 बजे फ़ोन आ गया कि राकेश जी आप कह रहे हैं कि मैं तो रिलीज़ करो, मैं तो पीछे रिलीज़ कर दिया और हाउसफुल है।
रिलीज कर दिया आपको बताए बिना?
हाँ, पहले आपने मुझे राइटिंग बोला नहीं हाउसफुल, आप क्या राइटिंग बिल्डिंग की बात कर रहे हैं। तो CI से फ़ोन आ रहा है, राजस्थान से फ़ोन आ रहा है, CB बिलाल से फ़ोन आ रहा है, हमने रिलीज़ कर दी हाउसफुल है। तो टाइम्स एक ये वक्त भी होता है
या
और कुछ नया था तो सब ठीक हो गया।
राइट
The media which wrote off Hrithik as a one film wonder,
yeah
he won all the critic awards.
yeah
Yes.
this was
That
his
is-
acting.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes. Which is so true.
Right. Then let's talk about Hrithik. He came with a bang and an overnight star, the perfect film star in Kaho Na Pyar Hai.
Yes.
Then came films that didn't do well, Fiza, Mission Kashmir. Then again K3G came, which again gave him a good push and people loved him in every way. Then again films didn't work, Na Tum Jano Na Hum, all these films, Suraj Ji's film. So when this film was coming, what was the buzz that you remember? Like he's saying, people said he one film wonder.
No, I would like to add here to
Yes.
what your question is right now. When you just mentioned these films, be it Mission Kashmir, be it Main Prem Ki Diwani Hu, these are all made by very respected names.
Yes.
Be it Suraj Barjatya, be it Vidhu Vinod Chopra,
Yeah.
be it Aditya Chopra,
Subhash Ghai,
Subhash Ghai, who made Yaadein. These are all hugely respected and successful names. And even in those days, they were at the top of the
Yeah,
game.
yeah.
So at the peak, and imagine if those films don't work, you can't really entirely blame the actor for it. There has to be some fault somewhere else also. And in those films, Hrithik was very good.
Yeah.
There's no denying that. I'm not saying this because his father's sitting here. The fact is that Hrithik is a complete actor.
Right.
You just mentioned about Kaho Na Pyar Hai. I think Kaho Na Pyar Hai was a complete launch, a perfect launch for him. Because here was an actor who could dance, emote, do drama, do romance. He was a complete all-rounder. And you have, and the looks, of course. He's blessed with excellent looks. That's beside the point. But he has the talent to hold the audience's attention for the next 2.5 hours. And that's more important. Coming to what this film, of course, and he just mentioned a gist of it, that people were shaky and distributors were shaky. Yes, they were. The industry was wondering at that point of time, how will an actor who's not the conventional hero look on the screen?
Yeah. Yeah.
But the fact is that the film completes 20 years today. And we are so fondly talking about that film.
Yeah. Yeah.
That कहीं ना कहीं वो हमारे दिल में, हमारे दिमाग में फिल्म आज भी बैठी है. कहीं ना कहीं वो जो पात्र थे उस फिल्म में,
Yeah.
कहीं ना कहीं वो जो वो जादू, आज भी जादू लोग यूज करते हैं,
Right.
मीम्स के जरिए भी यूज करते हैं
Yeah,
सोशल मीडिया
yeah.
पे. और जो ऋतिक का कैरेक्टर था, इट्स वेरी वेरी डिफिकल्ट फॉर एन एक्टर,
Yeah. Very.
एनी एक्टर. वो बोलेगा मैं अपने कंफर्ट जोन से बाहर ही क्यों निकलूं.
Exactly. Yeah.
मैं तो ये तो करते आ रहा हूं, और मैं योर फ्राइडे इज अ मैटर अ लॉट इन द इंडस्ट्री, ही वुड नो बेटर.
Yeah.
बिकॉज आपको अपने पिछले शुक्रवार से ही पहचाना जाता है. और अगर आपके पिछले 3-4 शुक्रवार अच्छे नहीं रहे हैं, तो यू टेंड टू लूज योर कॉन्फिडेंस कि मैं कर रहा हूं तो सही कर रहा हूं कि नहीं. एंड फॉर दैट एक्टर एंड फॉर द डायरेक्टर एंड द प्रोड्यूसर इन हिम ऑल्सो टू बैक अ प्रोजेक्ट लाइक दैट, कि नो, वी विल स्विम अगेंस्ट द टाइड,
Yeah.
वी विल डू समथिंग विच इज वाकई डिफरेंट, हटके, एंड गिव द ऑडियंस अ लार्जर देन लाइफ एक्सपीरियंस. ठीक है, हमने हॉलीवुड में फिल्में देखी है यूएफओस पे, कई मास्टर्स ने वो फिल्में बनाई हैं, ऐसी इस तरह की फिल्में बनाई है. बट हमारे हिंदुस्तानी जनता के लिए, हमारे लिए देसी एंटरटेनमेंट, देसी तड़के के साथ वो यूएफओस को पेश करना, दैट वाज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट.
Right.
एंड द फैक्ट कि आज हम 20 साल बाद भी उसे याद करते
Yeah.
हैं,
Yeah.
इसमें उस फिल्म के डायरेक्टर की जीत है, उस एक्टर की जीत है, उस फिल्म की लिखाई की जीत है, And not just Hrithik Roshan, every person, starting with him,
Yeah.
is the hero of that film.
Yeah, absolutely.
मुझे याद है कि मैं 4 दिन पहले I called all the distributors
Okay.
to see the film, and I was waiting outside, prepared mentally. इसमें से 5-6 लोग पिक्चर छोड़ जाएंगे, and the first person who came out was a Punjab distributor.
Okay.
I looked at him and he just came and embraced,
So sweet. Yeah.
and he said, "What a film you have made."
Wow.
तो मैं सोचा कि पंजाब ने ये बोल दिया है तो मतलब सबको अच्छी लगी होगी, तो सबको अच्छी लगी थी.
सर मैंने ये क्वेश्चन ऋतिक को पूछा कि डिडंट यू आस्क योर डैड कि वी आर टेकिंग अ रिस्क. ही इज सच अ गुड सन. ही सेड हाउ कैन आई आस्क माय फादर लाइक दैट. So you tell me, I can ask you that, didn't you think that it's a risk for him also? I asked you this question earlier. What made you take it?
See, that's what I told you, that I love to take challenges.
Yeah.
Hit और flop होना हमारे हाथ में है नहीं.
Yeah.
I don't know how to make a hit film. I only know how to make a good film.
Good film.
So a subject which convinces me and which challenges me, which can give me sleepless nights.
Right.
Those are the films I want to make. And I've been making.
Right.
And God has been kind that every attempt of mine has been successful commercially. Because I take a subject, but I design it in such a way that from Jhumri Talaya to Los Angeles, everybody should see it.
Right. That nervousness that he talks about, this is good nervousness, right, for a filmmaker. This is what drives them. Should be there.
Absolutely. When you feel that you've achieved everything and you know everything, you are a know-all and achieved all,
Right.
then I think somewhere down the line you start decaying as a person.
Right.
Then somewhere down the line you start falling in terms of filmmaking. But here is a person who at such a young age is still wanting to learn.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's more important.
Right.
Because I feel a person, any person, is always a student of life. And life teaches you every single day.
True.
Maybe if I walk out from here, I would be achieving so much
Yeah.
by just sharing a screen space with them.
Yeah.
Because it's rare that you meet a person, and I respect people who come from his generation,
Yeah.
who have seen the 50s and 60s. He's the second generation in the industry, who have seen the industry so closely in the 50s and 60s. I started from the 70s. And I genuinely feel that they have seen the golden period of Hindi cinema. They have seen those all-time greats that perhaps you and I have not seen.
Yeah.
And they have been in the midst of all that, and yet he's been so humble.
Right. True.
And yet he's still wanting to make different kind of films. He comes from a different time.
Yeah.
He comes from a very different schooling of filmmaking in those days.
He could have been stuck there. Yeah.
He
But
could have been
didn't.
stuck there. His, comparisons always begin with your family members. His father-in-law was a great filmmaker
Yes.
who made some fantastic films, the emotional films and music and everything. He's made some very path-breaking films, if you ask me.
True.
And I'm sure his peers, his father, his father-in-law, everyone would be blessing him always for carrying the legacy forward. And not just him. Look at Hrithik Roshan.
Look at Hrithik Roshan, yeah.
Something goes down as a third generation, and then he continues it with such supremacy,
Yeah.
such finesse, and that's remarkable. Because when you continue making and when you continue doing that kind of work, and especially in a cutthroat film industry,
Right.
the audience can be very ruthless, but the audience can be very rewarding at the same time. And I think if you work hard, if you show passion in your work, you get rewards, as he's got.
Right.
Like I was saying that music was also a very big
Yeah.
bonus for the film. And to create song situations in such a film was so difficult.
It's not easy.
But we made the song situation, then Rakesh gave fabulous music to the film. इधर चला मैं उधर चला कोई मिल गया जादू जादू. All these songs are till today, people they hum these songs, and the best part was that when I went to Australia to make Jadoo,
Yes.
so there was 2 companies over there. So they make animatronics for all Hollywood films.
Okay.
So I went there and I met the first person who had a very big shed and so many animals and birds and creatures were there he had made for Hollywood film, which we had kept as a. So I told him that I am making a film and I want an alien to be made. So I have no idea how to make it, but I have a vision of him that he should be very small and his eyes should be very deep and his eyes, he should speak with his eyes because he doesn't speak anything in the film. First thing he asked me that commercially how you are going to do. That hit me. I said, I'm talking about something creative and he's talking about commercial. So I just told him I'll come back tomorrow and we'll do the commercial deal. I left him. I went to the other studio. So they were husband and wife. So when I spoke to them that I want different aliens, so the wife was interested. Why? How? Aliens we have seen all thin and tall and they said, why you want that? So I told her that they play with the children. Children want to play. Children want him to be their friend. They should not be scared of him. What is the story? Tell me the story. And narrated the whole story to them. And the girl had tears in her eyes. And I knew that they would come up with the concept. And the next morning, they called me up. He said, we have some drawings, come and see. And they made Jadoo on paper.
Wow. Jadoo had to come from the heart, the way Jadoo was.
Yes.
Yeah. So tell us some stories from the sets when Jadoo was there, when how much was, when you showed all this to Hrithik also, what were the stories from the set that you remember?
I was shooting in Film City. I was shooting with Jadoo and Hrithik. See, what happened was that Jadoo's was made of animatronic. There were people outside, husband, wife, controlling his eyes and all that.
Okay.
So if you are talking, he has to look and eyes should match. That wouldn't happen. Sometimes eyes will go down. So cut. So it was a very difficult task. Very, very difficult task. So one day Anil Sharma was shooting down for some film. He had put a lavish, very big set in between the lake. He came up to me. I was shooting on top of the garden over there. लेकिन राकेश जी आजकल तो यार ये कैमरा में बहुत टाइम लगाते हैं अब वो तो 3 घंटे हो गए मेरा शॉट रेडी नहीं है क्या करें but then when he saw me cut 5 hours he saw that I'm not taking one shot also बोलता धन्य है हम ये पेशेंस का मैं खाम को कंप्लेन कर रहा हूँ मैं जा रहा हूँ
That is true.
So it was very fun also, but it was very, very difficult. Very difficult.
I can imagine.
So then I had to change my shot takings. I had to take his close-ups and because then one long shot to just see shows that So I had to change my way of taking and same thing I did in the last Krish where Hrithik was had a double role, Krish and his father in the same frame. So one day we called that camera and it took 4 hours to take one shot. Well, he's taking 4 hours to take one shot. How will I shoot the whole film? And I changed my way of shots. So I had to shoot with Hrithik first. In the same frame, I used to mark the frame on the video assist, lighting and everything. All. Then next day, I used to shoot the father. In the same frame, I have to match it. So this is how you save your costing, you save your time.
Wow. Good for the actor also.
Good for the actor also because he has to go and change. Takes 4 hours to do father's get up.
Right.
Then to remove that. then he can't become the younger person that day. So it was very difficult. So I thought, no, this is not possible.
Right. So also, there are elements in your film which are always there. There has to be entertainment. So there has to be a Johnny Liver, who's the Sindhi uncle, who's glass tod deta hai, Hrithik Roshan. These are the things that you wanted. You were clear about that.
Yes, I'm very clear about that because I feel that film should be entertaining. And they are good actors so I weave their characters inside the story. So they become a part of it. It doesn't look that I've gone outside to make people laugh. It's within the storyline. That the ball is going up and down. Jadoo is playing with him. All the kids are enjoying. So this was weaved inside.
Right. So you naturally have the patience to have children on the set. That's a difficult task, right? Like to shoot with children.
Very difficult. And I was very lucky and more difficult for Hrithik. Because, see, many have played with this character. In Hollywood also, maybe in our country also. But there was never children with them. They were all alone. So you cannot compare.
Yeah.
Couldn't compare. पर बच्चों के साथ बच्चा बनना बहुत मुश्किल है because they are natural and you are acting. So it's a very thin line. You can go overboard and do overacting, or you can do underplay it.
Yeah.
But to be one of them is very, very difficult. So full credit to Hrithik for this.
Yeah. Absolutely. Full credit to Hrithik. You tell us, when you see this, what do you observe about Hrithik and his performance?
Well, I think it's a flawless performance. And I would say that for Hrithik's entire filmography, that when you look at his films, he's played that character, whatever the director demanded him to play. And he's played it to perfection. See, hits and flops are part of the industry, and that's beside the point. But to give you 100% to a character is very important. When we talk of this film, Koi Mil Gaya, I agree with him, and I am sure now that when he's talking about it, when he has to play with children and he has to do those scenes with the children, with the kids, I think it must have been so difficult. हम तो शायद सिर्फ बात कर सकते हैं, पर इन्होंने वो एक्चुअली एग्जीक्यूट किया है और ऋतिक ने वो इमोट किया है पर्दे पर, कितना डिफिकल्ट रहा होगा. हम कह देते हैं कि आप बच्चों के साथ सीन कर रहे हैं, इट्स नॉट अ केक वॉक. क्या बच्चों के साथ आ गए, बच्चों के साथ सीन कर लिया और चले गए? नो, यू हैव टू बी विद दैट कैरेक्टर, यू हैव टू लुक like one of them, and then only can you look. अगर आप उनको ही कन्विंस नहीं कर पाओगे तो आप दर्शकों को क्या कन्विंस करोगे? Who are going to watch the film? So it's very important for the director and the actor to be in sync, so that what comes across on screen is perfect. And here it was.
Even the role for Preeti Zinta was very difficult.
Yeah.
Because she is not opposite a conventional hero.
Yeah, she's not. Yeah.
She also has to see that he is a kid. How should I talk to him? I mean, she did a marvelous job.
Very good. Very good. And Rekha ji also.
Rekha, of course, she is.
She.
The scenes when I shoot with her, I used to had tears in my eyes. When I see them both acting as a sequence.
Right.
Sometimes I had tears in my eyes.
So you also were in the film. You enjoyed playing that part. छोटा सा starting में accident हो जाता है फिर.
तो मैं क्या पहले कोई और करने वाला था, तो he was not well. तो मैं रेखा को पूछा, रेखा, no, what to do? He is not well. What to do? अल्लाह, what do you do it? I said, okay, I'll do it.
Yes, right. So some things became iconic. Jadoo became iconic. That Om became very iconic. वो कहाँ से आया idea?
ये मुझे भी नहीं पता सच्ची. That Om, how it came, from where it came, even I don't know. I think maybe it was somewhere somewhere it came to me.
Right.
And I put it, I don't know. It just happened. Om, all the theme song and theme music, how it was made, I just don't know.
Right. Along with all the elements, it had to have a good Hrithik dance number. that you made sure he's wearing this right red, blue, all these colors. What was that idea that ये होना ही चाहिए, because people expect that from him. कहो ना प्यार में भी हमने देखा ये होना ही चाहिए था.
Yeah, but that was the knitting on the screenplay.
Right.
That when he changes, but there also he's played it differently.
Yeah,
His walking style,
Yeah,
wearing a scarf
it's magic.
and all the children saying, "Hey, क्या हो गया तेरे को? हट रे." Yeah. In that attitude, and even the dance was not a usual dance.
Right. Yeah.
It was again a different kind of a choreography.
Right. Where is this in Hrithik's IMDb list if we open? Where we were talking about how one film came, some things didn't work, then one came, it worked, then again some things didn't work, then this worked for him. Where does, how, when you, do you remember, if I take you back, where did this fit in his filmography?
Well, I think, first of all, it was a huge challenge.
Okay.
Huge responsibility. See, as a father-son duo, they have never failed. And plus, you have his brother and Hrithik's uncle scoring the music. This is the most deadly combination. So even when I see a lot of fandoms talking about it, a lot of fandoms who are not associated with Hrithik, but they talk, and when they talk about Hrithik, if at all a movie doesn't do well or whatever, and they would say, yeah, but he can deliver a hit with him.
Yeah.
This is something that everyone agrees.
Yeah.
So I would not like to comment on any particular rating as such.
Okay.
With due respect to those ratings, I have nothing against them.
Sure.
But I would just say one thing. Eventually for any producer, any director, and any actor, box office is the ultimate judge. I always believe in the fact that बॉक्स ऑफिस पर सिक्कों की खनक से ज़्यादा खूबसूरत और मीठी आवाज़ आपको सुनाई नहीं दे सकती.
बहुत सही, बिल्कुल.
एंड द फैक्ट दैट देयर इज अ वैलिडेशन फ्रॉम द ऑडियंस सेइंग कि यस ये पिक्चर अच्छी है, एंड ये पिक्चर बार बार देखनी है, और आज भी अगर आप देखते हैं तो इट डजंट लुक डेटेड. ठीक है, आज टेक्नोलॉजी बहुत बदल गई है, बट ये हम 20 साल पहले की वाली फिल्म की बात कर रहे हैं.
हमने DI नहीं की थी उसको.
हाँ, नहीं किया था, बताइए. नाउ दिस इज समथिंग दैट आई डिडंट नो.
Didn't do DI at all.
नहीं किया था. नाउ आज 20 साल पहले की फिल्म को भी आज आप देखते हैं तो देयर आर मोमेंट्स दैट यू स्माइल, दैट योर हार्ट गोज आउट टू दैट कैरेक्टर. एंड व्हेन ही जस्ट मेंशन्ड अबाउट ओम 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 ओम, इट जस्ट मेरी नजरों के सामने वो सारे सीन्स आ गए. दैट्स द पावर ऑफ सिनेमा, एंड दैट is more important than those ratings, than anything else. I mean, as I said, with due respect to those ratings, but the fondly remembrance of those particular scenes or episodes or whatever you call it, and the fact that that film lives on, even after 20 years. You said what it does for Hrithik Roshan or Mr. Rakesh Roshan. I would say this film will always stand out in their filmography. It's a very path-breaking experience.
Right.
ठीक है, he's made some brilliant films, I'm not denying that. But this film, apart from, when we talk of certain films of Salman and Shah Rukh also, and there's one iconic dialogue, मेरे Karan Arjun जरूर आएंगे. That is used even today for so many, on social media you'll find those memes also, or whatever, or those Raki Ji's templates being there. So those are films, those are scenes, and those are episodes. Those episodes stay in your memory. Time may have passed, but those linger in your memory. Those are as fresh as today. Right. So Jadoo for me, Hrithik's character for me, and of course his overall direction, and the music, of course. I'm not taking away anything from Mr. Rakesh Roshan. He's a superb music composer. Right. He's given some great tunes, but I think, in my humble opinion, his best comes out with him.
Yeah, that's nice. Yeah. So just two more questions I have. Yeah, you were saying something.
I was saying that many people tell me that यार आप इतनी हिट दिए लेकिन आपका नाम वो हुआ नहीं जितना होना चाहिए. मतलब ऐसे क्यों बोल रहे हैं आप, कितना नाम होना चाहिए? बोलते नहीं, जब हम बड़े बड़े एक्टर्स जब बड़े बड़े डायरेक्टर्स का नाम लेते हैं, आपका नाम नहीं लेते हैं. तो कोई बात नहीं. और तो आपको कुछ ऐसा लगता नहीं, मिलन नहीं, क्यों? मैंने बोला कि जब मैं पिक्चर अनाउंस करता हूँ, मैं डिस्ट्रीब्यूटर को फ़ोन करता हूँ, तो बाहर मेरी लाइन लग जाती है।
एग्जैक्टली
और डिस्ट्रीब्यूटर्स चलते हैं एग्जीबिटर्स के साथ, एग्जीबिटर्स चलते हैं ऑडियंस के साथ। तो ऑडियंस में मेरा बहुत नाम है।
बिल्कुल। सॉरी, मैं यहाँ
मीडिया
पर
में नहीं
थोड़ा
है
सा
तो क्या हो?
मैं इनसे डिसएग्री करता हूँ. आई फील that if you take the top 10 makers of our country, ठीक है, today we talk of various filmmakers who have delivered hits in the recent times. He's not had a film for a long time. But yet, we take his name in the same breath, and I'm being very, very honest here.
Right.
Not because he's sitting here. We take his name in the same breath as all-time greats that we've seen. He's right there at the top. He's at the top of his game. And I'm not saying this because he's sitting here, but because his work speaks for itself. That's very important. He's being too modest. He's being too humble to even accept
I'm
it.
telling you the
No,
fact.
no, I mean,
Telling you the fact.
I remember I told you that I just narrated an incident that, you know, when I told him that he is a better director than G.O.M. Prakash ji. With due respect, G.O.M. Prakash ji is a brilliant director. I'm not taking away anything from him. But he still smiled and he said, no, he's on a different category. But having said that, I feel he still remains the same humble person that he was 40 years ago. He is not changed. And even in the next 40 years, he will not change. He'll still feel that. And I'm sure he'll still feel that my name is not as popular. But ask the audience.
right.
And mark my words, whenever his next film comes, you will see the advance booking and you will see the way people throng the cinema halls to watch his film. That is his achievement. And that is more than anything that PR can buy today. That's very important.
That is so true, sir. And that's why, like I said, you know, we have not had Mr. Taran Adarsh sit with any other filmmaker. You're the only interview we are doing together.
I genuinely, because, you know, as I said, it's such an honor to even share a screen with him. Because he's someone we look up to, and I genuinely feel that the kind of work he's done.
True.
And not repeating himself.
True.
And in an industry where you tend to repeat yourself.
Right. So I have two more questions for you and one more for you. So at that time when producers would make filmmakers, they would put in all they have. What was at stake for Roshan's when Koi Mil Gaya came?
All they have means in what way?
पैसे लगा दिए, time लगा दिया, everything people would put in and just bank on that one film कि ये film चलनी ही चाहिए. आप लोग कितना investment था, emotional, financial, everything, what was at stake for when Koi Mil Gaya came?
See, what happened was we had Kahona Pyare behind me. So financially there was no restraint.
Okay.
Yes, emotionally we were a bit shaken.
Okay.
When I made the film, I was very, very confident.
Okay.
When my first copy came out, I was very, very confident that this film will work with the audience. Because if you can make, because as I told you all that I keep showing my films on my editing table to everybody.
Okay.
And they all used to, love the moments in the film. When I showed the film to Adi, Yashi, Karan Johar, Subhashri, many big filmmakers, they were moved in the film. They felt the film. So I was very confident that the film, this will work. But then, as the release came nearer and nearer, my fatherly instinct started going. I said that I had to pray God. I made this film for my satisfaction. I wanted to make something different. But you must make this film run for Hrithik's sake because he has done so much in this film. He has put so much effort in this film.
Right.
So, last few days were just going with prayers only.
And all the prayers worked, sir. Then, in today's day and age, if we just talk about today, we all hoping, that's my next question to him, that he makes a new film. What is this market like? Will there be excitement if these two come together?
I think it's the most evergreen combination that one can expect.
Okay.
Imagine a film being announced saying directed by Rakesh Roshan, starring Hrithik Roshan, music by Rajesh Roshan. That enough.
That's enough.
You don't need to know the title. Just that announcement itself. there's tremendous speculation within and outside the film industry about what he's planning next. A lot of times you must have read, I'm sure he's read about it also. And I have also read by Krish का एक नया installment आ रहा है, ये हो रहा है, वो हो रहा है. People keep writing about it. You know, the fact that people are talking about him, people are talking about this combination itself is very important.
Right.
He just mentioned a small incident that, before the release, he was so bothered about his, chalo maine film bana di par mere. It is so true. It is so true. For as a father, he has seen ups and downs. And he would have faced everything. But as a father, that fatherly instinct comes in, and you want your son to succeed. You may falter in life or whatever. That is true love.
Absolutely.
And I think somewhere down the line, that love reflects on the screen, where even the son reciprocates, even the brother reciprocates, and even the father reciprocates.
Right.
So when these three combination, or I should not say combination, I should say when this force comes together,
Force.
I think that will be pure dynamite.
Amazing.
It would be 24 karat gold, if you ask.
You're inspiring me so much.
Sir,
अभी
सर मौका है अनाउंस कर दो.
मैंने कहा ना कि कंटेंट आपका कोई पूछेगा नहीं, आपको आप बनाते रहना, पर ये अनाउंसमेंट आ जाएगी, वही काफी है इंडस्ट्री के लिए.
Right. So yeah, so just these are fans of you who are watching this interview. These are fans of Hrithik, and these are fans of Rajesh's music. Are you all working on something?
Yeah, we are working, and very soon we'll come out with the announcement.
Okay. Great, sir. Thank you so much. This was like really sitting and going back and understanding how this film was made with so much love and so much respect for each other. You wanted it to do well. It was really amazing. Taran, thank you. We really got an idea of what was the expectation and what was the delivery after that. So absolute pleasure talking to both of you.
Thank you so much, and thank you so much, Gunduji. It's such a pleasure talking to you.
Good health to you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.